Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to look at a really powerful idea from Indonesia, one that might just hold the key to solving one of the biggest problems in our modern world.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this, we first have to understand the problem we're up against, and it's a big one. Just back in 2023, the U.S. Surgeon General came out with this bombshell announcement. He basically said, look, loneliness isn't just you feeling bad. It's a full-blown public health crisis. We're talking about half of all adults in America feeling this way. It's like this invisible epidemic that's been hiding right under our noses.
And get this, the number on this slide, it's just wow. The health risk from being that isolated, it's the same as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Let that sink in. This isn't just about being bummed out. This is literally life-threatening.
Okay, but now let's jump halfway around the globe, because a completely different story is playing out. There's no big government announcement, no flashy health campaign. It's just a community doing what it does.
Yeah, the neighbors just show up. Nobody organized it. It wasn't planned on a group chat. It's just an instinct. It's the default setting. And this whole way of being is guided by a really powerful concept called Gotong Royong. So what is Gotong Royong exactly? Let's dig in and see how this one idea can create a totally different kind of world. Okay, so the name itself is pretty cool. It comes from Old Javanese, and it literally means something like carrying a burden together. But it's so much deeper than just, group work. The idea is that some burdens are just too heavy for one person. They have to be carried by the community.
And this chart, this really nails the fundamental difference. You see, in the West, we tend to think of ourselves as individuals first, right? And community is something we opt into. But in the Gotong Royong view, it's flipped. The community is primary, and you, the individual, are an expression of that community. Your duties to others aren't a choice you make, they're just part of reality.
And this isn't just some high-minded philosophy either. It's something people live and breathe every single day. It's baked right into the rhythm of life. So let's take a look at what that actually looks like on the ground.
I mean, it's woven into the very fabric of society. You've got these regular, structured things people do. Need a house built? The whole community shows up, no money involved. Cleaning the village? That's a group activity. They even have these rotating savings circles and communal feasts for, pretty much everything. These aren't special events. This is just life. And here's a really important point. This is not charity. Charity kind of implies a power difference, right? Someone has, someone hasn't. This is totally different. It's about reciprocity. It's a continuous give and take where everyone is on both sides of the equation. It's a cycle that never ends because the community itself is always a work in progress. So underneath all these actions, there are these deep philosophical roots. Think of them as the soil that lets all of this community stuff actually grow.
At the core, you've got a few big ideas. First, the relational self. The idea that you are your relationships, you don't just have them. Then there's Rukun, which is all about actively keeping things harmonious. And Tippa Salira. It's like a golden rule for the whole group. All of this together means your identity and your community's identity are basically the same thing.
Okay, so why does all this matter so much for us right now? Well, to really get it, we have to look at what's been lost in the West. Because this epidemic of loneliness, it didn't just happen. It's a direct result of the society we've built.
And this isn't some ancient history. It's a really modern problem. There's this landmark book, Bowling Alone, where Robert Putnam basically showed with tons of data that this social recession has been happening for decades. The connections that hold us together were just falling apart.
And you can see it on this timeline, right? You go from a peak in the 60s with lots of community engagement. Then in the 80s, suburbs start to spread us out. We all get our own TVs. By the 2000s, things are in a steep decline. And now, here we are in the 2020s with an official public health crisis. It happened so fast. So what do we do with all this? What's the lesson here? It's not about trying to go back in time or anything. It's about looking at this ancient philosophy and seeing what practical things we can learn for today. And maybe the biggest lesson is this. Community isn't a thing. It's an action. It's a verb. It's something you do. You show up, you help out, and that act is what creates the feeling of belonging and security. You don't wait to feel connected to get involved. You get involved, and then you feel connected. It's a total reversal.
Okay, let's wrap this up with a little thought experiment, just to make it super real. Imagine this. Your neighbor's house gets damaged. A pipe bursts, whatever. What happens next where you live?
So you've really got two paths here, right? And they represent two completely different ways of seeing the world. Path A is about transactions, calling insurance, hiring people. Path B is about relationships. The neighbors just show up.
And this really is the bottom line. Forget about money, forget about GDP. Which of those two communities is actually richer? Which one gives you that deep sense of security, of meaning? I mean, the answer is pretty obvious, isn't it? It's the one where people show up.
So, Gotong Royong isn't just some charming old tradition. You can think of it as a really sophisticated piece of social technology, a battle-tested blueprint for building the human connection that we're all realizing is as essential as air or water. You know, maybe the whole point is that the West didn't just forget the answer, it forgot to even ask the question. And perhaps that's the first step for all of us. Just remembering that the health of our community is something we have to constantly ask about. Gotong Royong might be an answer from Indonesia, but it reminds us of a question that belongs to all of us.